So I had this dream the other day.
Was it an erotic dream?
No. But it was either it's kind of at this point muddled, but I was either watching or I was involved in an SNL skit.
Ooh, okay.
Which was really, really weird because I'm not a huge SNL fan. Like I don't watch it all the time, but the skit was basically people like being attacked by supervillains because like a confused supervillain.
Okay.
So like there would be a guy like named Bryce Banner, but he'd be Dr. Banner. So the supervillain would like burst into his college like classroom to attack the Hulk.
Fucking God.
You know? And it's
just some random dude with the last name Banner getting beat up.
He's like, what are you? He's like, your disguise will not fool me. Like, and it was all like Doctor Strange was in it, and it was just like a woman named Eleanor Strange or something like that.
Were you dreaming this as the actual like Marvel cast, or were you seeing like random people playing these like heroes?
I remember Will Ferrell being the villain.
Okay, I was like, actually, you're be dreaming the villains because the actual heroes aren't in this.
Yeah. So I was like imagining Will Ferrell being his screechy like SNL self, busting into this college classroom at like Harvard.
Get up, shit!
Yeah, and I was like, that's actually kind of a funny skit. Where it's just like confused supervillain attacking people with like Bryce Banner. Like I'm sure you could meet a Bryce Banner, you know what I mean? So I just thought it was a really funny idea. Just why are you hitting me? Yeah, that was my. And I woke up just like really confused. Like that is the weirdest.
I wonder what inspired that.
I have no idea. I don't know where it came from.
What fever meds were you taking?
You know, like a strung out doctor, like Dr. Octavius trying, like maybe it was because I was talking about in Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock is like attacking Peter Parker to know where Spider-Man, like he throws a car at him.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna kill Parker, dude.
It's like you don't know he's Spider-Man yet, so why are you throwing a car at a college kid like to get information?
And then also like at that point, like you see Parker like dodge that car and grab like MJ like, so perfect
across the table, spin.
It wasn't like a Oh, that was some pretty good reflexes there.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. All right, Parker, bring Spider-Man to me.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that at all. Like, but yeah, I just thought it was a really random little SNL skit idea.
I like that. I like it.
I really want to see it now, and I want like Will Ferrell. Like,
well, let's go become writers on SNL.
I imagine him acting like Mugatu.
Okay.
You know, like you have nothing. Like you know. But yeah, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
When you really want to have a...
I want you to tell me what movie we're reviewing today.
Oh, guys, hi. Welcome to our podcast. I always have this lead up and it just dies.
Yeah, it goes real flat.
That's my trademark, I guess, now. I lose interest in myself. Yeah, so we're kicking off a trio of block, actually, here. With I guess what we're gonna call is real life bands that made movies.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because I was thinking about it.
We'll figure out a name after.
Because like this is like almost like a mockumentary, and then we talked about the other one, which is kind of like becomes almost like a heist movie, and then there's the one that's like a horror movie.
Well, I mean, okay, so today we're doing Spice World. I don't think and we might as well just say it because I'm gonna probably want to kind of like bring up the other two a little bit even in today's conversation somehow. Okay. Not too much because like we're also doing Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny, and then we're going to do Studio 666.
Which if you don't know that one, that's fair.
It came out this year.
It's a Foo Fighters horror demonic possession movie, which looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then Tenacious D is Jack Black and JD Tenacious D.
Yeah, and we've been wanting to watch Studio 66 or 666, and we were just like, well, why don't we review it? Like, we haven't done a newer movie in a while, so
and it'll just be kind of interesting because none of these movies are meant to be taken seriously, in my opinion. So
there is one that's going to come up in conversation more around the review point that that's what I was saying off. Like, should I say it's on or off mic?
Yeah.
That I want to see your reaction to because that's what I'm like. Are you gonna want to change it once I tell you about this other movie that's out that you may not know about?
I mean, we can change it out of when. Who cares what I said?
I know, but I'm just okay. But yeah, so we are doing the Spice World.
Spice World with Spice Girls. The girl power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie.
This movie had a very interesting release, but let's first, Tommy, why don't you give us your synopsis?
Okay. With no rhyme or reason, we follow the Spice Girls on a journey of misadventures leading to their first live concert.
No rhyme or reason. I love that. I love it. Because it's so true.
There's no point to this movie. This is nothing.
It's like no one really asked
No
for
one
this.
needed this to.
But we did need it, and we didn't know.
When I went to 12th, so I was telling Jacob I got some provisions, got some red beer stuff, and he was like, I'm gonna get a little buzzed to watch this. That sounds fun. And I was talking to the person behind the counter, like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm watching Spice World. And they're like, why does that sound familiar? And I was like, oh, it's the Spice Girls movie. And they're like, why? I was like, oh, I do a podcast with my buddy, and we're doing Spice World, so I'm gonna get a little drunk before. And they're like,
had to lube yourself up, did you?
I will say though, I actually weirdly enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
There you go. It was because of the British humor.
It was just,
It's goofy.
It's goofy. It was just like, and there was a couple actually pretty like good one-liners in it.
There's good one-liners. There, like some of the weird charades that the girls get into are actually kind of amusing.
The cameos are like funny, like random. You're like, why? How?
And these are people that were like, some of these people were like wanting to be in this movie.
Yeah, like a lot. I was reading that a lot of people were like, oh, there's a Spice Girls movie. I went in on that. Like, yeah, it's interesting.
So review-wise, like how it got rated, it's got a 3.6 on IMDb. I think this is actually our lowest one now. I think we'll have to go back and check that. But like, I can't think of anything. I think Ultraviolet may have been the lowest one of the 4.1.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic was like 4 something or 2. I want to say maybe it was a 5, but yeah. I feel like this is taking the cake with the lowest rated movie we've done. 3.6 on IMDb, 36 tomato meter rating, and then a 45% audience score rating. But what's interesting is I was reading after now that this movie's aged and people have like realized like, oh, this isn't supposed to be taken seriously. People have like rewatched it and be like, oh, I gave this movie too hard of a time.
Yeah.
It's like people that are like, Spice World, that's a god-awful movie. It's like, yeah, it is, but it's meant to be. It's not meant to be anything more than for the Spice Girl. Like, this movie is capitalizing on a time.
And I'm a huge, I've been on like on air saying this. I'm a big advocate for crappy movies. Like, some of my favorite movies. I'm like, yeah, they're total pieces of garbage, but they're fun.
Exactly.
Fun garbage, you know? And this was actually kind of fun. Like, it was like,
I'm actually so happy that you did actually enjoy it a little bit.
I really enjoyed it. Do you want to give them a quick little rundown of how you got your hands on it?
Oh god damn it. Yeah.
So just a heads up, this isn't currently streaming really anywhere.
Yeah, it's not streaming anywhere.
I found it on one website.
What website?
It was one of those.
Is it one of those like shady, like
I don't know,
piratey ones?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna. It's like
I was trying to search for that, but like Delsa didn't want to use my laptop to watch it. Like
Yeah, like but I did find one.
I don't want viruses.
Well, let me put it this way: it claimed to have had it.
It probably wasn't on there then.
So, but I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. So
yeah,
So
yeah, this isn't streaming anywhere. It's available for DVD to purchase on Amazon, and one of the purchases was like around like $45, and I was like, I mean, I feel like I should have just like
I like that one better.
But I ended up finding one for $20 that is from South Korea.
And when I showed it to our friend Kramer, he asked if you brought me porn. From the look of it, and I was like, fair. I was like, yeah, no, Jacob brought me porn. Yes,
I brought you Korean porn.
You brought me Korean porn on DVD. We're going real meta with it. Like,
we're going way back to the episode.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
So yeah,
I'm an adult.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, my porn is free online.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I pay for it on no. But yeah,
but no, it's so yeah. I got a Korean copy of.
Dude, it's dope looking. I really like the whole look of it with the Korean. It's funny.
It sticks out like because it's got the Great Britain flag in the background, the UK flag in the background with like the Korean lettering.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, it's like this is a contradiction in a way.
That's great.
But I mean, it makes sense because like South Korea very much inspired, like their pop scene is very much inspired by the Brit pop.
Oh, I mean, that make, yeah. I mean,
You know,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And also the whole like boy band, girl band thing and all that stuff.
I mean,
so.
yeah, I mean, what is their name?
BTS?
Yeah, and then what's the other one? The other...
BTS 2?
No, the girl.
I forget what the girl... The one that has... They have like
Pink,
12
Pink
people.
Black Pink? Pretty in Pink? I can't remember what they're called. Someone's going to be really annoyed by that. I can't remember.
Call Mikey.
No, Nori likes them, I think.
Well, let's
Anyways,
move forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got lost there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't even think it's really, box office wise. It released in the UK in December 15th, 1997, and then it didn't get into the United States until January 23rd, 1998. And apparently, it had like one of the highest grossing box office weekends for a Super Bowl weekend movie.
This is random. How old were you when this came out?
So in 98 in America. So I was like 11, 12.
I somehow missed.
I'm 11. I was 11 when I watched this.
Do you remember hearing anything of like outrage or annoyance that it took so long to get to the States?
No.
From anyone?
I was 11 years old. I didn't have that attention to.
I just don't know if you remember hearing like,
No.
you know, like a friend or someone being like, "Oh, we can't watch."
Oh no, none of my friends knew I liked the Spice Girls. I just liked the Spice Girls, and everyone else didn't know.
I was blown away. I went through their Spotify, and I was blown away by how many Spice Girls songs I knew. I just didn't know they were the Spice Girls. I just missed this whole, somehow just missed all of this happening.
They're actually regarded in like some, like with some people in like some circles of music that as like the, like since the Beatles, like one of the most influential bands to come out of the UK.
I mean, they were in a lot of ways, and also they were printing their own money, basically. Like it was.
I was actually really surprised when I was doing research on them. Like they all work together to like this music isn't written like they all work together with like producers and musicians, but they work together to write the lyrics and the music. Like this is all actually it's them.
It was actually really fun researching the Spice Girls and like just learning about them, you know, and the like the cultural phenomenon they were and what they became.
Well, yeah, because they became so popular because of this like resurgence of Britpop and
what was it called?
The Britannia.
Cool Britannia.
Yeah.
Is that what it was called? I had it written down somewhere. Where did I lose that?
Oh, that's in the wrong. I'm on the wrong one. It's gonna be here in a second. Where did I read that? Because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Cool Britannian.
Cool Britannia. What I mean, so essentially, with the rise of bands like Oasis and Blur, Spice Girls is kind of like part of that as this like big resurgence of UK music kind of hitting mainstream again.
And yeah, and also their girl power.
Oh
like, their like motif, you know.
Yeah,
like
girl power and their whole thing of inclusivity, you know.
Yeah,
it's like that's like when I was a young kid liking this, like I was like weirdly ashamed to say that I liked the Spice Girls because
it was a quote unquote girl thing.
It was a girl thing.
I mean, you could say we grew up in that era. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, like I told you,
and like, but like it was. I didn't like. Well, I did have a crush on every single one of them because they're goddamn gorgeous. But it was also the music is just so good and fun. Like
it's catchy.
It's super catchy, and like I was never been in like a kid to really like other than like country music, which I don't really like pop country music. I've always like all forms of music. Like if it has like a rhythm that is fun and like enjoyable, I'm down for it. You know. But yeah, well, let's get into let's just get into actually director and all that stuff then. Oh wait, how many movies did you see this year? 97,
61,
69. Haha.
We are children. Remind me to tell you about my boob thing. I had a real 14-year-old moment last Thursday that I was like, I'm ashamed. No, Monday. I'm ashamed of that. I just picked something up and put it on my chest and went, hey. Like, and it was just like this really stupid knee-jerk reaction.
Was it your partner's bra, please?
No. It was 2 ice bins.
Yes! Oh, I love that.
And I was standing in front of Kenzie and Lindsay, and they're like, seriously? I was like, I'm so sorry. That just came out.
I would have been like, yeah.
I was like, that was not.
I have boobies.
That was not what I intended.
Okay, all right. So let's get into director, writer, and all that stuff. Very, very UK movie here.
Yeah.
This was directed by Bob Spires, who really, I mean, he's a Scottish comedian director, comedy director, and producer. If you're familiar with UK television, you would recognize the shows Absolutely Fabulous and Fawlty Towers. Fawlty Towers has John Cleese in it.
Yeah, John Cleese. That's who's in there.
And then Absolutely Fabulous, I'm forgetting her name. Jenny.
Aunt Spiker.
Huh?
Aunt Spiker from James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
What was her name? Shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But, well, she has a cameo in this. Well, one of them does.
Yeah, not the Aunt Spiker.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Jenny. We totally dropped the ball on doing research on this one a little bit. It's just we were excited about talking about Spice Girls. Maybe I was. I don't know. I mean, I really want to find her name because she wrote the Spice Girls, the Spice World musical. That was a huge flop.
Oh yeah, it came out like in 2000,
like mid 2000s.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so there's even a musical out there if you guys want to
find more Spice Girls in your life.
But he did this movie while he was working on like a Disney movie called That Darn Cat with Christina Ricci.
Well, and also he passed away in 2008,
yes.
But he was one of BBC's most prolific directors. They used
producers and
comedy used them for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
like
if you're familiar with mid 80s, like what 80s,
late 80s, 90s, early 2000s
British TV, you've seen their stuff here and there. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of shows I recognize, but I was like, I know that one, but I haven't seen it.
A lot of it has been actually just like short clips that would be shown on Facebook or stuff like that, where it's like, oh, that's funny. I mean, it's actually interesting. Like a lot of that stuff had actually led me to watch a handful of like UK television, like the In-Betweeners and Friday Night Dinner and stuff. So
I have no idea what this That Darn Cat movie is, but I want to watch it.
It's not good if I remember correctly.
That's got a 4.6. I mean, it's a fucking Disney movie about a cat.
It's a live action Disney movie from like the late 90s. So yeah, I mean,
97.
Live action Disney didn't really get good till Pirates.
Oh, I always forget that's Disney. Yeah, so that's Bob Spires.
Bob Spires, yeah. I only really want to bring up Spice Girls and Kim Fuller for this one because the other person I can't find anything for. I mean, she's credited. She's not credited in the credits of the movie, only on IMDb. Jamie Curtis has additional writing credits on this, but I don't know who that is. I can't find anything else anywhere.
When I did a quick little search, I mean, a lot of just Jamie Lee Curtis kept coming up.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, not that person.
Don't know who Jamie Curtis is, why they got this on the IMDb, but good for you. Maybe you're making maybe you made a cent off me buying this from Korea. Who knows? But this movie, created and helped written by all of the Spice Girls as well. But the person who probably put the structure to it was Kim Fuller. Who
was brother of Simon Fuller, who was the manager of the Spice Girls at the time.
And,
I don't know if they still are.
And Simon Fuller also is like the creator of the Idol series as well.
Yeah, like huge TV producer, music producer.
Yeah. But Kim Fuller, I was looking at his writing credits. He wrote from Justin to Kelly, which I was like, that's fitting.
I don't know what that is.
It's Kelly Clarkson and Justin, whoever they were the finalists on the first American Idol.
Oh, that's funny. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you bring this up to Val, she'll know exactly what we're talking about. He wrote for a handful, like for Tracy Ullman a lot, I noticed.
Yeah, I saw that too.
A lot of sketch comedy in general, but like one that I kind of stood out to me was one episode of Red Dwarf.
What is that?
You don't know what Red Dwarf is?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you would like Red Dwarf. It's pretty much this maintenance guy on a spaceship wakes up and the entire crew is gone, like dead. Mm-hmm. And there's only a robot and an imagination, like his figment of his imagination, I want to say, are the only things left living on the ship. So like it's just pretty much like isolation. It's a futuristic comedy.
The adventures of the last human alive and his friends stranded 3 million years into deep space on the mining ship Red Dwarf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding that to my watch list right now.
You will really like that. Each like about every other episode like kind of does like a weird parody on like there's one they do the entire story of Casablanca in like 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Cool.
Yeah, and I guess like let's just get into starring who it is, because this stars the Spice Girls. And if you don't, what?
I did read somewhere that Disney had approached the girls doing the movie, but they were like, it got too Disney-fied. And I was like, what a different movie this would be.
Yeah.
And also, like, yeah, then the Spice Girls
This movie wouldn't have any of its, like, UK humor in it if it was Disney.
Yeah, but also, like...
Did you hear what the story that they wanted to do was?
The single mother, something like that?
And they're all sisters, and, like, the mother, like, passes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this sounds bad.
Yeah,
what's really was like, this isn't a good movie, but that sounds worse. Thank you, Disney.
Sorry, yeah. I just was thinking of like really thinking about that, because I'm also like, would that mean would Disney somehow get it in the contract that they then owned the Spice Girls? Like,
they would have probably taken some type of like royalties or some type of like copyright of anything that was like written in the movie, possibly.
Yeah.
Which is also probably a reason why the girls didn't want to do something with Disney, because of whatever
leech.
Yeah, well, and they're like, I was really impressed again reading just like how much like they have so much creative control and just control over themselves and then the product of themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really fucking cool and actually empowering to really like see like they're not just shells of like, you know, some producer putting them up there. They're like, we are the Spice Girls and we know what we want and we know what we are doing. They were founded by a guy that wanted to just make a girl pop group, but it became so much more.
Yeah.
Founded by a guy. So if you're not familiar with who the Spice Girls are, there is Scary Spice.
Mel B.
Mm-hmm. Or Melanie Brown. Baby Spice.
Emma Bunton.
There you go. Sporty Spice.
Melanie C.
Or Melanie Chisholm. And then Ginger Spice.
Jerry Horner.
That was her. Yeah, that's what she's cleared as. She's now Jerry Halliwell.
Okay.
Married. And then Posh Spice.
Victoria Adams, a.k.a. Victoria Beckham.
Married to, what's his first name?
David
Beckham. I was like, what's his famous soccer player?
It was so funny. I was talking about them, like, as a couple, and I don't see them as singularities in my head. I think of them as a couple, like a hot couple. I always forget that he's a soccer player.
Oh, really?
And she's like a Spice Girl and a model. I just see them as...
And a fashion...
Yeah, like a fashion icon. I only see them like as like a hot celebrity. I don't know what it is. And I've seen Beckham play multiple times for the Galaxy.
That's funny because did they become celebrities because they're hot in your mind?
I don't know. It's like I've seen David Beckham play for the Galaxies. I mean, this is years ago, but I don't know when he stopped playing for them or if he still does. But I was just like, oh yeah, they're entities. They're their own people. And I just have this weird mush in my head of like, you know. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously this movie is starring the Spice Girls, but this movie has an insane amount of tiny little cameos.
It's crazy.
And people like actually like
it's Zoolander level.
Like well-regarded actors in this movie. Like I want to say this also, like their touring manager is played by Richard E. Grant, who most recently was on Loki as classic Loki. He's also one of the General Pride in Rise of Skywalker. He's in Gosford Park, which I haven't seen, but I know that's a popular movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a very popular, well-known UK actor.
He's pretty funny in this, actually.
He is. He's hilarious.
Then another person, Alan Cumming, who plays he's like the documentary maker that's following them around. Like I didn't write.
I mean, Alan Cumming, he's also in Josie and the Pussycats, which I think is kind of funny. I forgot.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. Is he?
He's in Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
Oh, yeah. Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
He's also Loki in Son of the Mask, if I remember correctly.
That's what I was like, is that what I'm thinking of?
I was like, wow, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's a weird crossover metaverse. Weird. But yeah, do you have the checklist if you just want to like quickly go through all of these goddamn cameos?
Oh, and then like one of the bad guys was Richard O'Brien, which I thought was funny. Mm-hmm. Who he just did with Dark City as he was Mr. Hands. But yeah, there's like
was he the bald? I did not catch that at all.
I was like, Richard O'Brien's in this? Like, that's so
Holy
random.
Shit.
Wow. How random is that?
Wow.
But yeah, like Elton John, Bob Hoskins, Hugh Laurie, Meatloaf, Roger Moore, like even I wrote down Roger Moore after the fact because I missed him because there's just so many, but I just started cracking up when he showed up and I was like, what? I'm like, it's fucking Roger Moore petting a cat. He's
right.
It's fucking Bond.
He's like he's looking like a Bond villain the entire time.
Yeah, and he kind of is like,
but he's the chief that's kind of like actually running, but like he's just saying nonsensical things.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That was funny.
It was so funny.
That was really funny because even then, like when what's his name?
Clifford.
Yeah, Clifford
hangs up the manager.
Yeah, hangs up the phone. The assistant's like, "What did he say?" He's like, "I have no idea."
Yeah,
and it's just because he's not saying anything. He's saying gibberish. He's saying these weird.
Remember, the chicken with his head cut off. His body remembers where he was, but he doesn't know where he is at.
Yeah, like wait, it's just nonsensical. What? But he's saying it with such conviction, like it's a real thing. It's awesome. Like those kind of moments. There's some really funny. Like that was funny.
It's also. I mean, like there's so much leaning into like UK just culture in this as well, because they're like, that's what it's like. I remember watching this as a kid and I remember enjoying it because I just thought it was goofy and I liked Spice Girls, but so much humor went over my goddamn head because I didn't have the knowledge of UK culture at that time.
That's fair. Like,
you know, it's like know about like James Bond being this huge UK icon. I didn't know who Roger Moore was when I was 11 years old. So Roger Moore looking like a Bond villain saying obscure nonsensical things is literally this whole like joke of his time as Bond.
Well, it also like his pet keeps changing.
Yeah, it's a fucking cat, then it's something else, and then a pig. I think it ends with a pig.
I think it ends with a pig, but you're just like, did his? Yep, it did.
Yeah,
it changed. Why did it change? I did love that. What was his name?
So British, dude. It's so UK humor. Did you already say Meatloaf as well?
Yeah, Meatloaf is their tour driver, their bus driver. Mark McKinney's in it, which I thought was so weird because it took me about. Mark McKinney is. Do you ever watch Superstore? That
I haven't watched it all.
Sitcom about like a Walmart.
Yeah. I've seen episodes, but
he plays Glenn, the manager.
Okay,
the really Christian one that has that really high voice.
Yeah.
Him, and I was just like, is that fucking Glenn? And I was like, holy shit, it totally.
Who is he in the movie?
He is the writer that's helping make the plot for the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh,
and then there's a bomb.
That is him.
Yeah. I was like, what?
Dude, that entire fucking like the trying to make the movie in the movie thing is like weirdly meta as well, and then like they're breaking the fourth wall at the end during the credits is silly and fun.
I liked that. They're like, bet you're wondering about the bomb. You know, like it was really goofy.
God.
Yeah, no, it's insane how many people in here. And even then it's like I had this moment of like, Hugh Laurie, why the hell would you do this? And I was like, what am I talking about? Because I forget. I'm like in my head, I'm like Hugh Laurie house, like drama. I'm like, no, he started off as like
comedy
and like Monty Python. He was like friends with all those guys. Yeah, he started off in comedy.
Yeah,
you know, and even then I thought I was like, oh wait, Borrowers. He's the cop, and he's really funny in that because he's just very like aloof and very.
Well, it's like House. Yeah, it might be kind of a drama show, but he's also kind of goofy and funny.
He's
in that.
Dark. It's like a dark sense of humor.
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's just so many because the Spice Girls were so big at this moment in time. Of course, like Hugh Laurie's like 100%. I want to be in a movie. That's like, give me a cameo in this movie. That's hilarious.
Or like, and even then I was like Stephen Fry. He's the judge in it. You know? And you're like, oh yeah, you're also a funny guy. Like so, it's a lot of people that just had like, yeah, sure, I'll be in the Spice. Yeah, that sounds fun. Like, let's do it. But yeah, I did like that Jason Fleming was in it too.
That's who I was trying to remember his first name of. Yeah. Because because
he was in.
I love that it's just the tabloids.
Yeah. Did you also notice that the editor in chief or whatever had a tabloid, but it's him serving 15 years in prison.
Oh,
framed.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it's up on the back of the wall, and it's him younger, obviously, but it says now serving. It doesn't say what he did, but you're like, oh, so he's a crook.
Yeah.
And they're just having this off in the background to like really, you know, he's spitting and like
he's spitting, and then as he's spitting, then it starts to rain.
What the fuck was that? That confused me. I was like, sure.
I think it was like he's just like so far up, this spit is coming out, then now it's just the spit's raining down.
Okay, all right. Sure.
It's very UK humor.
But yeah,
What?
we could go on about who's in this movie, but that's just to give you an idea. And what I did think, so because like I had never seen this and never had any interest to watch it, but it is that Zoolander thing where if you ever seen Zoolander, the entire movie is filled with
cameo.
Winona Ryder, Billy Zane, Drew Barrymore. Natalie Portman. David fucking Bowie. So, but what is funny is that
was all Zoolander cameos.
Yeah. But even Baby Spice, Emma Bunton, and Victoria Beckham were both in Zoolander. They're cameos in Zoolander.
I don't remember where.
I don't either because there's such quick flashes. It could have been on the red carpet But I was just like.
2/5 of the Spice Girls.
We're going full circle, But yeah.
So I'm really curious about this. What did you get for reviews?
Okay. So to start off, there are 5 positive.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 4 mixed, 7 negative, and I wrote down a couple because I wanted to really give an idea.
Get a flavor.
Yeah. So and they were all pretty quick.
Spice this dish up.
So I'm not gonna hold on to you for too long. But so for the first positive, we had Craig Marin. San Francisco Chronicle. Without much, gave it a 75 out of 100. Without much,
that's the highest?
There's 100, but
fuck that one. I don't want to hear that actually.
I was like, I didn't really care for it because this.
Sorry, didn't mean that.
Sorry. So Craig wrote, without much of a plot to speak of and relying almost entirely on the girl's star power and charisma, which they have in spades. Turns out to be a truly entertaining movie for anyone with even a bare knowledge of the Spice Girls' history, which in this age of absolute oversaturation is hard to avoid.
That is so on point.
Yeah, it was like, they're like, like
that is so on point.
And then this one made me laugh. This is all technically a positive. It's kind of leaning to the mixed. 63 out of 100. Liam Lacey at the Globe and Mail. Critic proof. Devoid of plot or acting and quick to mock anyone who might make something of it.
Oh, okay.
Which I like critic proof. Like, what do you...
Yeah, no, right? It's like,
what are you going to say
about this movie isn't trying to be anything more than a goof. Like, it's not trying to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
No one's in here is trying to win a goddamn award for their acting.
Yeah, for real. Like, sorry.
This is all about everyone having fun. Girl power.
Madeline McDonough at TV Guide magazine. It's all pure, brainless fluff, but it's unpretentious and wannabe is damnable catchy.
Yeah.
And then now the fun part. We're gonna get
getting into the pudding.
Into the negatives. This one I kind of was like, I like it. Kind of ties into what you said, but maybe at the time. Mark Savlov at the Austin Chronicle. Bad as it may be, though, the film falls that one precious inch shy of being quite so awful that it achieves cult status. In short, it's just not bad enough to be any good.
That's like, okay.
So like at the, like you're talking about, like now it has maybe like it might have this weird little cult following because people are looking back on it. Sorry, I'm dying.
Joking on spit.
This
cult following. You were in the middle of a thought.
I lost it with that.
Okay.
And this is 0 out of 100. The Washington Post, written by Richard Harrington. The Spice Girls' mistake masquerading as a movie is so bad that it makes the Village People's Can't Stop the Music look like Citizen Kane.
Whoa.
Which also, I didn't know the fucking Village People had one.
Neither
That's
did
the
I.
movie I was talking about. The
Okay.
Village People have one. I'm so interested in that.
There's more. There are more that I'm drawing a blank on. Like Village People. I mean,
the Village People one's probably fun as fuck, dude.
Probably gay.
It's probably fucking awesome.
I know.
It's probably so right. It's probably so over the top.
I mean, because like I was thinking, would you consider like Tommy to be like in a realm like this?
No,
because I feel like that's more like it's like a rock opera.
It's a rock opera. I see the train, but I don't jump on it. Like, I mean, Tommy itself is a trip to watch. Like Tommy, for those who don't know, is a rock album by the Who. And it's really good actually.
Yeah.
Tommy, can you hear me? Wasn't Mikey in that? Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, cool.
He was really good in that. But yeah, no, because I would like Tommy. I would kind of put more with. Yeah, like Still Crazy? No, because that's still following a band.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I guess the rock opera really is its own.
And I think it just
thing.
so happens to star what's his name? Like the lead singer of The Who is like Tommy in it, right?
I don't remember actually. I never actually watched.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I've never watched the
Why am I
movie.
drawing? I'm
I
blanking
watched a lot of clips from it, like
Okay.
the bean scene. And
I mean, what about like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker when he turns into a transformer?
what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I got something to show you.
Because like, or Purple Rain, like you wouldn't pair Purple Rain and Tommy together.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a kind of like
I would pair Purple Rain and Tommy together closer than I would pair any of those two movies with something like this or Tenacious D. Maybe closer to Tenacious. No, not even. See, that's a weird thing about this movie.
This is a weird thing about this kind of genre that we're trying to like kind of make, you know?
Because like,
Because Purple Rain's also a drama.
mm-hmm.
So,
It has a full-fledged storyline, actually.
So like Still Crazy and Purple Rain could go together.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
it's following artists and there's like comedy, but there's also drama. There's actual
but Purple
human,
Rain's actually like it's a like Prince is
like an autobiography.
I don't think it's.
I know, but like, but that's the thing is I don't know how accurate Purple Rain is to Prince's like personal.
I don't think it was meant to be any type of autobiography. I think it was meant more to be just a movie.
Prince movie.
Yeah, Prince movie. I mean, 8 Mile with Eminem. That's
How much music is in that though?
I've
I've never seen 8 Mile. Still,
there's some decent amount of freestyling. It's not like any type of musical like that at all. It's more like a
I guess there's actually
a loose autobiographical story of how
But even-
Eminem came.
So yeah,
to
even
was.
Purple Rain doesn't have that. There's not. Like, there's like moments of him performing in the band, but yeah, interesting.
Well, let's get into this movie. It's like, well, what is there to talk about?
Anthony Lane at the New Yorker. The
right.
director is Bob Spears, though it's hard to judge whether he actually turned up on the set. It's just, I like the mean ones. They're funny.
Damn. What's really interesting about this movie is like it's critic proof. Like when I suggested this, I was just curious about.
And you've seen this before.
When I was 11.
Yeah, when you're a
It was definitely a constant re-rented multiple times from the video store.
Did you enjoy it as an adult?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah. Like I said, like I was really nice to really like get all of the humor in it. And some of the humor is like with the aliens.
I didn't. I didn't like that.
Why didn't you like that?
I don't know. Because there's so much of this movie that is like a skit. It's just a bunch of skits together.
Exactly.
So you're not. It's just like SNL. You might like the skit before. You may not like the skit after.
And that's
you know?
fair. The one the reason why the alien one kind of did stick out to me is that it's kind of like they're in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's kind of like weird fans coming out of the woodwork that are like, oh, let me sign, and how awkward they are, and how they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be really nice and whatnot, but you're really
and they understand
awkward.
them weirdly. Well, I do like that she goes and kisses. I think it was Baby Spice went and Emma kissed one of them on the face. And you could tell that her face like went into the mask too much. And then when she's describing the aliens, it's like, yeah, they had really squishy faces. I was like, was that weirdly like was that to justify the mask being pushed in a little?
I think it just happened to work out.
Yeah, like,
but then even like one of the aliens like opens up its like shirt for them for Posh like sign its belt. It's just like, this is weird.
It's so weird.
This is weird, but it's all. I mean,
or they have this fucking double-decker tour bus that you walk in and it's like
it's the fucking Doctor Who. It's the TARDIS bus.
it's a tent in Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
My partner mentioned something about the bus, and I was like, I really don't think that's going to be the biggest problem with this movie. I was like, go ahead and just suspend your disbelief for a minute.
Why are the toilets clogged? I will do anything for these girls, but I won't do that.
She pointed that out. I think that totally went over my head.
Are you serious?
It totally did. She was like, did you hear that? I was like, what?
Lost my mind.
That's another thing. That's why this is why
that was a
movie's
Meatloaf
fun.
quoting his own song in a Spice World movie.
Yeah, like that's why this movie's fun. It's like I'm gonna do Zoolander again. It's fun to just sit there and be like, they're fucking in this. Mm-hmm. Oh look who that is. Like trying to like Elton John. That was like
briefly right at the top.
Yeah, just for like and he's like musician royalty. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's fucking Elton John.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
and he has he also has high respect for the Spice Girls. And
yeah, I'm sorry, Sir Elton John. I apologize. Proper title.
And he's like, oh, Elton.
Yeah, and they're like on first name basis, and they're like friends. Like it was fucking yeah. I mean, there's not really much to talk about this movie, but it's just a big old fever dream. Every time they do like a memory or dream sequence, it does that really fucking cheesy swirl. It's just.
I mean, so there is a story in this movie, and it's just kind of like not really. It's not the main focus. The main focus is the Spice Girls, but
the end of the day, they need to get to their concert.
Yeah, the thin story is about how they're trying to get to.
They're preparing for a concert.
It's like
their first live concert.
First worldwide. It's going to be a worldwide live concert aired all across.
And it's going to be 80,000 people.
But the conflict really in the movie is this tabloid guy
who he is anti-girl power is kind of what it's implying. Not implying. It's pretty like straight
and
up
how it's like he's tired of like printing how successful the Spice Girls are.
He wants to drag them through the mud. He wants to ruin their reputation,
which is what tabloids like to do. And in a weird way, this like movie that's kind of it's pointing out how popular figures of this time, especially like anybody who's like a huge cultural phenomenon, what the tabloids want is drama.
Yeah.
So it's really it's also a commentary on how the fucking how the tabloids are gonna fucking do whatever they can to run these people through the mud and try to break them up.
And then you have fucking
and they turn him into an evil villain type. It's like he wants to do it because he's an evil person. That's the tabloids don't want to break up the band. They just want the drama.
Yeah.
But
and
like
you have Richard O'Brien, who's super paparazzi. Coming out of like toilets, hiding in the catering,
like when they steal a boat, with like these.
He's already in the water, like he's like clairvoyant, like he knows what they're gonna do before they do it.
They find him dressed as a doctor in the hospital because there's this weird side story of a friend of theirs that's pregnant.
Yeah,
that really has very very no background to it.
But even then, there's just like even with the lines, there's like. What are they doing? They're being spontaneous. I told them that they're going to be spontaneous. They need to check it with me.
Right.
Like it's just stupid, but it's like funny. It's funny. Like again, like,
I mean, the conflict of the movie is they do get to a point where after what happens with the speedboat and then the tabloids are kind of running them through the mud, like almost killed these two kids because they were like prize winners.
A competition to meet the Spice Girls or something.
And the kids they jumped the boat. They hit a bump in the water, and the kids and Sparty Spice and Posh Spice got into the water. Actually, that was kind of funny. Posh Spice is actually really fucking funny in this movie. I think she's one of the more underrated.
I thought she was kind of my favorite,
funniest parts.
She's always like walking because she's always wearing.
She's very pris, very posh.
And she's always wearing the black dress, or even that when she's. Like, which one should I wear?
Yeah, and it's the same
one.
Black Gucci dress. Even when they going through the military training, like all of the other girls are dressed up in like camo and like combat boots, and they're marching and whatnot. And she's in like a camo like skin tight pencil dress with like her high heels on still. And as they're doing the what is it called? Obstacle course.
Yeah.
She just like stops and just like walks around it the entire time.
She was funny.
Or like when their friend's giving birth and she's like, okay, heavy breathing.
Not you.
And then she puts on like an apron. It's like, no, not you. It's for her. And like, huh? Like, the kid that's in a coma. Posh looks at Ginger like, maybe you should take off your top. That'll maybe wake him up. And the dad just like, okay. I think that may have been actually a callback to Jerry, and she actually did pose topless for a couple of photos for some stuff early in her modeling career.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's actually that. So going into the Spice Girls drama, that's kind of possibly one of the rumors why she took a hiatus.
Yeah, I was trying to remember which one it was her that took the hiatus, where then they only had the 4.
Yeah, in 2000 when they did their third album, Forever, and their final album. She took it's documented that it was just like she was just like getting stressed out because of the tour and touring and just like everything was just getting too much to her. But around that time is also when it was like leaked that she had these topless pictures, and then it turned into like, well, if she's gonna have topless pictures, how can she be a positive role model for all of these young girls? Is what the tabloids turned it into.
Yeah, they vilified her.
Yeah. and which is unfortunate, and nobody should get fucking body shamed like that. But yeah, she ended up taking a little break because of that. Remember, like, it's rumored because of that. Actually documented because she was just getting burnt out type thing.
Well, it's like,
and the girls even like even right now, like most of them are still kind of like they'll do some like tours or like some shows. The only one now that doesn't really participate is Victoria Posh Spice, because she's too busy running her fashion industry. As
yeah.
But like they all still like credit each other, even if they're not on stage. All of them are on stage.
Yeah, but even a lot of them had a pretty, like, I mean, I don't know if commercially successful, but they had a pretty like solid solo career.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like, I mean, just making music. Like even if you look at even if you just go as bare as looking at their music video list, like on IMDb, like Mel B has a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff under her credits list. So it's just like, okay, like, do you like? And also, it's like, what, 98, it was estimated that they were making, like, by 98, $500 to $800 million in music and shows and merchandise. It's like, that's why I said earlier, they're printing their own money.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how much money these people were making. And in this, I mean, in this time, I mean, in this time you talk about Chris Hemsworth and Thor, he made $100 million or whatever. So, but you also have to think about, this is 98. And this is $800 million in 1998. It's like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money now. That was a lot of money then, you know?
Yeah, they're definitely well off.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then there's also a lot of where that money is going to as
true,
well.
Because that's what you got to, because also
there's 5 girls, there's whatever, like, agents, each of them having their own agents.
But that's also the thing I got to think about too, because this is the umbrella. It's almost, the Spice Girls is almost like it's almost an industry. Yeah. It's almost a company. So it's like, it's a label. Yeah, it's like it's a symbol now. It's not just 5 girls making music. It's an entire franchise of human beings. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, it's so weird to like think about that, and I think it made me just really think about just in general too, just that genre of music, whether it be Spice Girls, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, or you know what I mean? All these groups that just become more. They become
it's their imprint in our culture becomes important because you see the influence that it follows. Yeah. But at the time, you might see that influence at that time, but you don't really until it stands the test of time.
Until it makes a mark on like pop, like popular pop.
Well, it's like there's certain times where you can really see just how big they become, and it's like that thumbprint is left there.
Well, then I think it's
imprint,
I think it's also what kind of to go through your standing a time to thing. You have to like look at who's doing what decades later, because even then it's like it's an interesting just identity thing because NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, Justin Timberlake is a member of NSYNC for X amount of years, but now he is Justin Timberlake, actor and solo artist.
He's now become more than NSYNC.
He has become an individual again, not a member of NSYNC. It's just it's such a weird concept, and it's also because it becomes like who's doing what now,
Yeah,
I mean, fucking was it next week or the week after? Fallon's going to a Backstreet Boys concert. Yeah, which I'm like, how old are they?
They're in their mid-40s. Everything's fine.
Oh, my hip. Or like a couple of years ago on my birthday, Aaron Carter came into town. I was like,
but Aaron Carter's like now like he doesn't do the pop music anymore.
What does he do now?
He's like a weird rapper.
What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
He went Vanilla Ice on this one. I think he has face tats too. I'm not sure.
Oh, so like real Vanilla Ice. All right.
Well, getting back to Spice World.
Yes, like now I'm sorry, I'm just talking about the group.
Well, I think it's like important to really just kind of like, it is important because of how popular the group was, is why this movie was successful the way that it was.
Yeah, I mean, because even in some of the reviews too, it really just became, it's almost like, in a weird way, it's almost just like an advertisement for the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
It's a long commercial about, this is why you love us, because we're quirky and we're cute and we're girl power, you know. It's like,
interesting. They had become such a huge cultural phenomenon that it's like, well, and like they really became bigger than Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, because I think that's the one thing I didn't fully realize when I was especially younger is like
just how big they were.
Because like they were worldwide because they came from the UK. You know,
but here's the thing, though. Fallon was talking to me about this because Fallon is the musical group person, and like her and Michelle and stuff. But she was even saying that apparently, like with like other groups like NSYNC and them, they actually toured in the UK first to get some momentum because like
the boy bands
and stuff, the group, because America just wasn't ready for that shit.
That is true too.
So they had to go get momentum overseas, and then like, all right, they're hot now, throw it in there. You know?
Exactly.
But it's just like, I mean,
because there was a growth of boy band and girl bands in the UK in the mid '90s, early 90s, I mean. And
something too like about the Spice Girls, which is crazy in this move, like they had notability, like recognizable ability on the level of the Beatles.
Notoriety,
thank you. Yeah. So it's like, so this movie really like we were saying, this movie didn't have to be, it's like, fucking why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. Spice Girls were like, let's make a movie. That sounds fun.
It's critically a flop, but it made a shit ton of money.
Ton of money. And you know
why
what?
Not? Let's do it.
Critically a flop, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no, but it's just so rare and on the show that we have something that is that vastly, where it's like, it made a shit ton of money, but it's terrible. You know what I mean? It's very rare that happens.
I think it's going to kind of go into like an opposite, is like now thinking forward into us going to Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, which again, it has a lot more of an actual storyline in that movie, but that movie gets kind of sketchy too, or like it gets into moments where like things are cerebral, or like it's not as like SNL like dream sequence, like sketchy. You know what I mean? Really,
this I see what you're saying. This felt like sketch. This is like,
there is a through line with it,
but like we were saying, it's a thin one.
It's a very thin.
Pick of Destiny has a more.
Yeah.
This is what the end result. Like this movie, like until like, you get towards the end, you're like, why are we here again? What are we doing? But like Pick of Destiny, what the end result is going to.
And it's even like in this movie,
goal.
It's like their whole like conflict. Like they essentially kind of almost break up. Like they all like decided, we're not going to do the concert anymore. This is the climax of the movie. It's like, we're not going to do the concert. And then they all, reflect on times before they were popular, and then meet back at the pub where they got cheap fries and stuff, or chips, I should say. And then like, let's go do it anyway.
And they have tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
That's also like when like, and that's so weird that we were talking about this. Like that's not because I mean, our age, number one, and number two, just because of at the end of the day, toxic masculinity culture. Yeah, we as boys couldn't like girl things. Yeah. That's that was the mentality that we were raised in, and it was so weird too. It's like not even like my dad didn't do that. My dad wasn't like, you're a boy, you can't, you know what I mean?
My dad didn't, but I do remember when I found a Spice Girls CD at the store when I was with him and like one of his guy friends. I was like, Dad, I want this CD. My dad's like, are you sure?
Why?
Like, why? I'm like, because I like their music. He's like, okay.
Well, it's like, it's just.
So he didn't like shame me. It was just kind of like
I'm confused.
This might be a red flag. This might be a flag of some sort.
What are you going to do now? Wear a dress? No, but it's like, well, also because growing up too, my mother was the gardener, fixer upper, and then my dad was the cleaning cook because he was in the industry forever. So he liked to cook and he cleaned, and so it's like at the time too, that was kind of the swapping of roles in the household. Like, at that time. But it's like, so I didn't get that at home. It was really just probably it was peers.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Girl, and it's just like, so maybe that's why we kind of like miss. But it's like even that when you start singing "Wannabe," I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Your brain automatically goes, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I really, really want to zigga zigga. It's like Inception. You can't help, but even if you're not gonna do it out loud, your brain.
Stop right there. Thank you very much. I need someone with a human touch.
It's like,
hey, you.
It's like crazy. It's like this level of Inception. It's like, yeah, they were huge.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's just so. It's weird. It's just I just don't know how I missed it.
Like, I mean, it makes sense that you missed this movie because what you would.
No,
have
I just
like,
mean them too.
Oh,
just them.
Well, even then, because like I don't, because like even like when Forever came out, that's 2000, and you would have been what, like 7 or 8.
So when I was like 6 when this movie came out.
Like 9. So like you would have been like 5 when their first album came out.
But I also have 2 sisters. And I don't recall.
But they're also like what, 15 years older than you?
Something like that.
And one of them dated Marilyn Manson, apparently.
Accordingly.
So
that's the rumor.
They probably just had like a different taste in like this. Definitely was like a lot more of a market for like younger, like preteens and young teenagers. Maybe some like older teens. Anybody in their 20s were probably like, oh yeah, Spice Girls are just really popular.
Yeah,
right now, you know?
I'm trying to think. Like I'm thinking about it. Maybe they were maybe they were just a little too old.
Yeah.
And maybe it just wasn't even like especially maybe in the 90s too. It's like this is so poppy. Mm-hmm. I could see a very a camp of like screw them because this isn't music.
I mean that was also the whole thing was just like the rise of the multiple person band, the boy band, the girl band. It's like this is on the epoch of with grunge at kind of its like peak as well, and then that's on like counterculture, and then
I was gonna say a very counterculture era.
Yeah,
so like
the 90s became very much counterculture-y. So anything that was kind of like that felt could be like led as in propaganda for like nice things, like.
Well, and also, I mean, like, especially in this movie is an example of how much the Spice Girls were just being shoved in your face at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see people being like, I'm so sick of them. You know what I mean? Especially, this time, the radio. God, can you imagine one of their singles playing every 15 minutes?
It was every 45 minutes.
Oh, God. That's too much.
93 Zoo FM. That's what I listened to. And yep, Spice Girls, like, I think it was like, they just played like the top 10 hits. It was like in an hour loop.
Oh.
So it was like every hour you would get the Spice Girls and then
whatever else was out at the time.
Chumbawamba, Tub Thumper.
I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, like this movie is very fun. It is very aware of what it is. It's like not good, but I would never go into this movie expecting it to be.
Yeah, no, 100%.
In a million years. And I'm actually really glad that you really pushed this one because I'm glad I've seen it because I'm like, yeah, that was fun.
I think it's kind of like, it's not really it's not really a movie that anybody needs to watch for like any film reasons.
No, there's like if we were talking, like we talked about the class thing, if you're teaching a class, this goes on the never need to pick it up again list. You don't really need to if you don't want to.
You're not going to learn anything cinematically or film wise with this movie. If anything, you might learn like funny, like how like write sketches. You might, some satire, some like funny writing. Because like I really think there's a little bit of like a picky. Like I really do think just the tabloids, they are a representation of all media and how the Spice Girls felt how the media was attacking them at the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like there's very shallow, very thin concepts inside of this movie, but that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was trying to think of like what the whole like writing thing too. And like you were saying it's like very, very British, and I was like, is it really? And then I'm like, yeah,
it's very British.
Well, because also there's that whole moment at the end when the what's his name? I can't. Well, the guy that plays Glenn is doing the movie in the movie thing.
Oh yeah,
and then
it's actually playing out with them like it's become like
and then right at this moment they'll run through that door and nothing happens and you lied to me. It starts choking
because Clifford's having a mental breakdown.
Like it's funny. Like he just one-handed like you lied to me. It's like it's funny. Like,
it's like he's pitching you a movie, not what's actually happening, but it's actually happening, which is the weird meta moment of like it's.
That's the thing, though. I think it's because of this movie feels so sketchy. It's like there's these moments like that are in this movie that you could just literally steal that and put it in something else, and it would still make the joke. Like that joke could have been in. You could put that intonation. Pick a Destiny, where they're and they'll come through that door right there. You lied. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of just these little 30-second little interactions,
little bits
here and there. They're like, that's just on its own like a funny joke. Like
it's like, and even just like how they really lean into making fun of like each of their individual personalities. And like at the very beginning of the movie, when they get into the Doctor Who bus,
yeah, I mean but that's also
no, it's like they're establishing like each one has their own like cutesy personality, like
there's sporty and she's
working out, she's got some tattoos,
she's got a motorcycle, I mean workout bike,
yeah,
it's like, and then Baby Spice has the swing and constantly sucking on a lollipop, and I was like, this is kind of weird. And then
where are you going there, Tom?
and then you have Posh Spice, and
always just looking in the mirror, looking at the next dress.
Yeah.
Ginger Spice.
Why? I still don't understand why she's called Scary Spice.
Because of her aggressive attitude.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And then,
she's like, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair. And then Fallon said she always had horns.
Yeah, so she would.
Was at the end her hair, right?
That's her iconic look.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure. I was like, why? Like, I get the baby. She's acting like a baby.
I never really thought of it as horns, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like little. Which I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, yeah, I mean.
Ginger, like more,
I think my favorite was Scary Spice in this movie. I liked her a lot, and then Posh Spice.
Posh Spice was really funny. I think Baby Spice has like some funny moments.
I mean, they all do, but I like Scary Spice a lot.
And the alien grabs her boob. She's like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, ooh." No. Yeah, but that was. But it's like you're saying too. If they really had this control, they were like the director's like, "Hey, I have this idea," and they're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
No, exactly. Well, and also like, who knows how many fucking weird fans have like groped them? You know?
Yeah. The band started in '94. I'm sure some shit went down.
Oh yeah, even like when they're first walking, like when they're first leaving the studio at the beginning, and then Clifford's like, don't worry, there's not going to be a lot of fans. Most of them are at the front of the building, and they open at the back, and there's just thousands. There's a sea of fans. And then there's like one paparazzi person who's like putting the camera down low, and Clifford's like, no up the skirt shots.
I totally missed that one. Oh, God. Yeah, it's like this movie's very aware of what it is.
Oh, 100%. I mean... I could just keep talking about Spice Girls.
I'm not gonna I know we're a movie review podcast, but that's kind of fun just to talk about this other
I think that's
world.
kind of where this like more is gonna go with even with Tenacious D. I don't know, because it's kind of like as I was saying, it's like this movie is more. This is like it's a commercial, as you said. I think a commercial for the Spice Girls.
Well, it's interesting too because if you're like the little like pre-review, like just again like thinking about Tenacious D, it's like Jack Black is such a almost like Renaissance man of entertainment.
Yeah, it's like it makes a little bit more sense because also Jack Black, he's also a performer. He's also like he's a funny guy. He likes to do comedy.
Yeah, he's very.
Tenacious D started with writing skits as well with MTV,
and also he's very. Like him, I know him for sure. I don't know about JD. But he's very interactive with his fans. Mm-hmm. He'd be on the street and like someone will be playing guitar and he'll walk up and sing with them. Mm-hmm. He's Jack Black in the Tenacious D movie is Jack Black.
Yeah, he's
not a character like of him, a caricature of himself. He's that fucking guy.
He's kind of a caricature of himself.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and then like it's like and. I think like with this movie, it's like, the Spice Girls, they are just a goofy group of girls, and that was kind of like a really big brand that they were leaning into. It's like, it's all about having fun, Yeah. That's what they're like. It's not only it's girl power and inclusivity.
If you want the Spice Girls in a nutshell, watch Spice World.
Yeah.
This is what they're selling.
Mm-hmm. It's about their whole image is just like, it's fun music. We're about fun. It's a business. We like to perform for you.
Oh, I got the Powerpuff intro. It's stuck in my head now.
Sugar,
spice, and everything nice. But then Professor X added one more ingredient to the concoction.
Chemical X.
Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born. That's a good intro to an animation.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
God, I want to watch it. I wonder how that aged. I want to watch Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Has it?
There's some weird jokes, but yeah.
Oh yeah, like him. I loved him.
Ooh,
yeah, he was cool.
Well, I mean, do you want to give this a weird rating? I mean,
I guess so. I mean, like objectively,
it's a gremlin. Objectively, in my opinion,
I think it's a Mogwai after midnight.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, because like I said, there's some funny writing in it. Like it's very aware of what it is, and it's like Gremlin. I get to like movies that I like Johnny Mnemonic. Like I fucking hated that. Movie.
Johnny Mnemonic, I feel like falls more in almost like a fucking Spike.
Yeah, like I really fucking hated that movie.
Yeah. I mean, I say Gremlin, like objectively, it's like this is the critic, It's like the storyline's super thin. It is just a bunch of sketches. The through line is
it goes into that critic proof thing.
Yeah,
though.
but this movie is just so adorable.
Yeah, that's something like Mogwai, like turning into a gremlin because like there is nothing. It is like, why are we watching this? To literally just turn off your brain and just go for the journey.
In a weird way, it's like this would be a great movie just for the background. Like
you're not going to play at work.
Oh, you want to?
No. Take it. No, but I mean, like, I'm just saying, have that on the projector and just have it looping for like, yeah, sure, it's fine. Like, I mean, I recommend it. Like, I never thought I would say that, to be totally honest.
I mean, I would say if you like the Spice Girls and you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have zero care about the Spice Girls,
then you can skip it.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you want something just like really silly and dumb, sure.
If you like UK humor, I would say give it a shot just to see a little bit of that.
I think that could go both ways for someone. Like,
if you like 90s UK humor, it's a very distinct time period for
and
UK.
It's not
because it's not Monty Python.
It's not super intelligent like a lot of like
I think it's a little bit more intelligent than you got to really think about what the metaphor is being said in some of these. Like the alien, I really do think the alien is an example of like how how it's like meeting weird fans.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you take this idea and then you just extrapolate it and make it more weird. You know. Yeah.
I mean, and like I guess like at the end of the day, if you're morbidly curious, check it out.
Yeah, if you can find it,
if you can get your hands on it.
Jacob's got one for $40. Hey man, you want to buy some death sticks?
Hello there. I don't know where Star Wars.
All right,
just gotta throw some Star Wars in there.
All right, I think we can be wrapping up a little bit. I mean, Spice Wars. I'm really happy that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was really
like I was unsure.
I was gonna come in here. What the?
I mean, like, no, I just kind of thought you were like, this was just dumb, and I don't know why you wanted me to watch it.
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And granted, like I had a couple of beers while I was watching it, but I mean, you know, I didn't get.
It's really weird because like the way that it starts out is very like they're singing "Two Become One."
Yeah,
and it's kind of like you're like, why is this? Like it gets like almost strangely intimate, and then it gets just weird after that.
Yeah,
the moments that do take me out, I will say, is like the elongated musical scenes where they sing like the entire
they
song.
Sing like a music. It becomes a music video for a minute.
Yeah, where it's like, we could have just done with like them singing it like the
part,
chorus.
The chorus, the part we all know. Like, yeah.
Although when they have the male dancers,
and that was the compromise. Yeah,
the compromise, the assless chaps.
Well, that was like funny too. It's like they're like, no, we don't want half naked men in our performance. Like that's not happening. And then
it's like that's not what we're about.
Yeah, we're not about
this Italian director. It's like it's art.
Yeah, you know, it's like pretty good. I think weirdly, like I mean, there's a part of me that feels like that's kind of a stretch, but I see that if you actually kind of look like the alien thing, that might have been what they were going for.
I totally think that's what they were going for.
But it's one of those, I would like to...
Knowing Kim Fuller and the writing that I've seen him do, it's meant to be a commentary on something.
And it just made, like, for audience, it just didn't land, like, the way that they wanted it to.
Like, are you talking about the entire movie?
Yeah, like these little commentaries that...
I'm pretty sure it landed just fine. The storyline is just too thin.
No, all right, well...
I mean, the commentary probably landed better in the UK at this time period.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it was...
Superfly. All right, so yeah, next week, we're going to be doing Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny. And we'll see how that goes. That actually, I know, has a higher rating on IMDb. It's actually enjoyed, I guess.
I don't know. I just remember liking parts of it.
There's a lot of stoner humor in it.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of like body humor.
There is.
Which I hate. Like fart jokes and shit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, cock push-up.
I was trying not to quote that so hard. Drop down and give me 50 cock push-ups.
Yeah, okay. That's I don't know. I've never really been into that kind of humor, and especially as I've gotten older, but we'll see. I remember liking it as a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time. So.
I mean, there's a lot of that humor, but there's also just a lot of
I really
Jack Black being Jack Black.
I like Jack Black, which is weird. I like Jack Black now that I'm older. I didn't like Jack Black when I was younger, but I like him now. And I think it's also because he's just like a cool old guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would like to hang out with him. But yeah, so join us for Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny. The Pick of Destiny. Was that right?
Is
that close?
I think you're close, yeah.
Okay.
It's the pick of Destiny.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Follow on Instagram, Patreon, all that stuff. Yeah. Later, guys.
Gotta get out of here before we start singing.